Think about that. Police may be forced to release pedophiles, rapists, murderers, drug dealers, and arsonists back onto our streets and into our communities where they had no right to be in the first place.
President Trump's Attorney General has a problem with Portland, and today Jeff Sessions flew here to make his case against sanctuary cities.
He made that speech to a crowd of federal law enforcement officers and doubled down on threats to pull federal funds from cities that skirt immigration laws.
We have team coverage for you tonight. Pat Doris was with protesters who took to the streets as Sessions spoke. We start with Maggie Vespa, who sat in on the event itself. Maggie, he didn't hold back.
No, Joe, Tracy, he didn't. You know, he gave that speech here from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services building. He did it in what's called the Oath Room. That's where new U.S. citizens are naturalized. And from that room, he took aim, as you heard, at sanctuary cities, calling them, including Portland, quote, a trafficker, smuggler, or gang member's best friend.
The United States Attorney General, the Honorable Jeff Sessions.
Introduced by U.S. Attorney for Oregon Billy Williams, President Trump's Attorney General took aim at sanctuary cities like Portland in Portland.
Such policies undermine the moral authority of law and undermine the safety of the jurisdictions that follow these ideas. That makes a sanctuary city a trafficker, smuggler, or gang member's best friend.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions highlighted violent crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. Immigrants local authorities didn't turn over to the feds. Among them, perhaps Portland's most famous case, Sergio Martinez, a man who'd been deported 20 times. Late last year, he was released from the Multnomah County Jail. Months later, police say he attacked 2 Portland women, including a 65-year-old, in her own home.
He reportedly forced her to the ground, used scarves and socks to blindfold, bind, and gag her, and then raped her and slammed her head into the wooden floor.
Sessions then reaffirmed his goal of withholding federal grant money from sanctuary cities.
These grants are not an entitlement.
Responses were swift. Mayor Ted Wheeler releasing this letter reading, quote, I strongly oppose the Trump administration's efforts to coerce local law enforcement agencies to enforce federal immigration laws. Multnomah County Sheriff Mike Reese sent a series of tweets writing, if the administration wants to make controversial and dangerous changes to immigration enforcement, they should convince Congress, adding, quote, once trust is lost, it cannot be easily repaired. Now, after that 18-minute-long speech, the AG held separate meetings, closed-door meetings, with local and federal law enforcement. Obviously, as we said, closed doors, so reporters weren't allowed inside. But we're kind of getting a little bit of an indication as to at least how part of that meeting went. Sheriff Mike Reese sent out a statement saying Sessions, quote, refused to acknowledge in the meeting a 2014 ruling barring deputies from holding adults based solely on ICE detainments. And he added at the end of that statement that Multnomah County's policies as a result of this meeting remain unchanged.